Hi guys! Now, just a short disclaimer, this story is not about baking. Well, not really. Moving to the UK, I felt a bit lost on what I wanted to do with myself. Partially because after moving, I hadn't really kept up with the things I'd previously enjoyed doing. For example, writing poetry. I remember on days like Mother's Day, or on someone's birthday, or actually just on random days, I would be inspired to write a poem of appreciation. And I remember this so vividly because my poems would always rhyme, like an ABCB kind of rhyme scheme. Another one was the piano, which I had played in Nigeria from about like ages 8 to 9. And as much as I knew at the time how beneficial playing an instrument was for me, this knowledge wasn't really enough to interest me in dusting the keys off my keyboard and practicing some chord progressions. The other reason though for how lost I felt was that the schooling system in the UK was very different from what I was used to in Nigeria. For most of my time in Nigeria, my main focus was on my academics. Study till you drop, study till you get full marks on all your exams, books, study. But in the UK, they had a more hybrid approach to learning, where you had your academics, but other forms of creative expression and extracurriculars were also presented to you and integrated into the education system. I wasn't so used to this, and I felt odd being in an environment where my grades weren't such a big deal. What do you mean people didn't treat me according to how high I scored on the test? It felt very much like a what now moment. But in all my confusion, something good was able to come out of it. My secondary school in the UK had a compulsory design and technology class with 4 rotations throughout the entire school year. They were graphic design, woodwork, textiles, which was like sewing classes, and cooking, but we mainly baked. Of course, to begin with, I approached it casually and I didn't really expect much out of it. To me, it was just like, this is something I'm required to do, so at the end, I'll just get my credit and have it over with. But class after class, I slowly began to enjoy the routine of following a recipe. I began to feel pleasure in shopping for ingredients for my next bake, and began to get especially this sense of relaxation when baking. It was kind of therapeutic even. So much so that even after the baking rotation was over for the class in school, on a sunny Saturday, I decided I wanted to make vanilla cupcakes, or ask my mom if we had brown sugar for a cookie recipe I wanted to try out. And after this fun period of trial and error, I loved most of all the excitement of asking people around me to try my treats. I liked the smile that I could put on their faces and the sound that came out from them when they enjoyed what I made. I was able to realize that there is always a potential for something good in every period of confusion and times where you just feel lost. In this period where I didn't have my academic achievements to fall back on for that sense of purpose, I was left with a vast expanse of options. From sports to theatre to graphic design, I was left to explore things I had never really paid attention to, and I was given the time that in the past I would have used to cram formulas. Instead, I had this time to sit down, reflect, and come up with new ideas, new things to try, to potentially build something out of, to make mistakes, of course, but then to try again. I'm a simple person. I like to bake, and I like to eat what I bake. But anyways, what passions have you discovered? Or are you still exploring them? That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.